Hi, welcome back to Cooking with Mama Bear. If you're new, thanks so much for coming today. Today we're gonna make apple crisp, which is kind of like a different version of like apple pie, but the crust is different. And then I'm also gonna show you how to do apple and cherry. And I will show you as a bonus how to make this, it's like pie spice that's universal. You can put it in any pie and it'll taste great. So before we begin, you know the drill. Wash your hands with hot soapy water for 20 seconds. And then also, if you're under the age of 18, please ask your parent or guardian, can you cook in the kitchen first so you don't get in trouble? And I don't get in trouble. No, so you don't get in trouble. Okay, let's go. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you could like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so every time I upload a funny video you can have some humor in your day. Okay, now let's go. Okay, let's start. I got my apple. It's a little lopsided. You'll see that when I put it down. I'm gonna take a vegetable peeler and I'm gonna peel the skin off the apple and then I'm gonna slice it. So all I have to do is just, here's my blade, I'm just gonna rub it firmly across or rub it on the apple and kind of push away from myself and it'll take the skin off. It will also take off your fingernail, or if it's really sharp, it can take your skin off too. So be careful. Okay, 1, 2, 3, done. Okay, my apple's already cut, or I'm sorry, it's not cut, it is peeled. So now I'm gonna cut it. I can't find my paring knife, which is a smaller sharp knife, so I have this steak knife. I know this is not the professional way, but it will still cut. So I'm just gonna hold my fruit or my apple. I'm gonna hold it on one side. I'm gonna make sure that my knife isn't by my fingers. I'm just gonna cut it like down the middle of the core where the stem was at. And I have 2 halves, and I have all these seeds in the core in there, so I'm going to lay my apples down on the cutting board. I'm going to cut it in half again. And now I can see they're in 1/4 pieces, so I'm going to cut like a little triangular wedge, and that should get out the seeds and the core. So I am going to I'll cut away from myself, but I'm going to hold my apple in the back. This is a little tricky, especially because my apple is a little lopsided. So I'm going to cut a V, and then I'm going to cut going this way. And this piece should contain all my core and seeds. At least on this apple piece it does. I have a little piece of green up here from my skin. I can just cut that off. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, so I will do that with the rest of them, and then we're ready for the next step. Okay, next step is, now that I have my 1/4 pieces of apple, what I will do is chop these into smaller pieces. So I think I'm going to slice them in like cubes or diced. It's not going to be exact because these are oddly shaped. But if you think about like a playing dice, about that width or thickness. So I'm just doing kind of like a rough chop. This is not pretty or cute, but it's in smaller pieces. See how big these are? So not too big, not too small. They're going to cook down as well. After I'm done cutting this, then we'll move on to the next step, which is making the universal pie spice. Okay, I have all the apples chopped, and what I want to do now is make my apple pie spice. I have my handy dandy recipe right here, which you will find down in the description box below. So I need 1/4 cup of white sugar. Oh, of course I didn't take out my 1/4 cup, and I forgot the sugar. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm ready. I have the apples chopped, and now I'm going to make the universal pie spice mix. So I have my recipe here, which is down in the description below. So I'm going to need 1/4 cup of white sugar, and that's regular table sugar. I'm going to use this bowl here. Can you guys see that? So I'm just going to level my sugar, and that means I'm just going to shake it, and then it becomes flat on the top. I could use a knife and push off the extra, but I don't have to with the sugar because it's so granular, it just levels itself off. Next, I will need 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. This cinnamon I love by Watkins. It's really good. And I'm going to get 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'm going to have it heaping. So heaping means like way more than you need. But I'm not going to get that much. That's almost like double. But it's not totally flat across the top. And that's okay. Because I love cinnamon. Okay, next we're going to do a dash of allspice. And this is kind of strong, so you should smell it first. And if you like that smell, then that's kind of what your pie will have, that flavor in there. So I like this particular spice, but it is a little strong. So I'm going to do 1 dash, means like 1 shake. So I'm just going to shake in the bowl. Shake. Okay, that looks good. Next I need, I'll get this one next, is cloves. Again, this is strong, aromatic. That means like a nice smell or a strong smell. So smell it first, and if you like it, put it in. Because it's strong, I'm going to do 1 dash of this. Oh, that doesn't count because hardly anything came up. Okay, there we go. Then we need nutmeg. Okay, this also is a strong smell, but I love this stuff. So I'm going to do 2 dashes of this. 1, 2. Nice. Oh, last thing that I need is flour, and this just helps thicken up the juice so it's not super runny. It's got a little bit of consistency to it, not like jelly, but it's just, it makes the juice thicker while it's cooking in the oven. So I need 1 teaspoon of flour, not that much. And see, I have a heaping amount. I'm going to take my knife, and I'm going to push off the extra so you guys can see. That's a proper leveling off. There we go. And now we're going to stir it up, and it's done. And that's my universal pie spice. Stir it up, and all those dark brown spices will get mixed in the bowl, and then this powder turns from bright white to like a light brown. It smells good. Okay, this is ready. So what I'm going to do is take one of my bowls, and I'm going to take my apples. This is a 1/4 cup because that's what I have out. So I'm going to put 2 of these, which equals, does anybody know? Right, if you said 1/2 cup, good job. You know, man. That looks about right. I'll add a couple extra. Now, with my universal pie spice, I think I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of this, and I'm just going to level it off. I'm going to pour it in here. I hope that's not too much. And I am going to stir this up to coat all the sugar on the fruit. This actually looks good. I think we'll be just fine. Okay, now I'm going to take one of my custard cups. There's these little tiny glass cups that they say can go in the oven. I've tried this once, and it did not explode on me, so I was very happy, and this can go in the oven. So I'm just going to pour my sugared and spiced apples in this dish. I'm going to pack it down a little bit because I have one more thing to put on it. Okay, so this is ready to go. Now, I also have cherry pie filling in the tin can, or aluminum can, so I'm going to wipe the top. When I teach at school, and I'm going to open this up with my can opener, you wipe the top because your cans can sit in the warehouse or store for a long time, and what can run across the top or get on the top? Dust, which, you know, you don't want that in your food, but worse things like ants, roaches, mice, rats, and if they drop anything left behind, you do not want that getting down into your fruits. That's why I always have my students like wipe, like with a hot soapy towel, the top of the can. Now this particular can opener keeps the lid in one piece, like the old-fashioned can openers. It goes and like cuts around, and then the lid like tilts down, and all this stuff on top of the can goes into your fruit or green beans or whatever you're making. So even though this is all one piece, I still wipe the top because I'd rather be safe than sorry. Okay, now here's my fruit, my beautiful cherries. So I'm going to take a fork because there's so much of this jelly stuff in here. I just want the cherries. So I'm gonna take out, I guess I should measure this. This is gonna be a minute. I'm gonna take my cherries out and put them in the 1/4 measuring cup, and I'm trying not to get, again, a lot of that gel stuff. It's just like sugar, but I want the fruit, not just sugar. Okay, I'm done measuring 2 times. I use the 1/4 cup 2 times, which gives me my 1/2 cup. I'm just use my fork and take this out. Oh, that's beeping. My oven's ready to put the apple and the cherry streusel in. So again, I'm gonna add okay, if 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon, I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of the pie spice as opposed to the 1 tablespoon. So because there's already that sugary jelly stuff on the cherry, so I don't want it over sweet. So I'm just gonna sprinkle this around, 1, 2, and then I'm gonna stir with my, oh, I have a spoon for this. Here we go. Ignore I'm using soup spoons. It's just one of those days in the kitchen where I cannot find what I need. Okay, so I'm just stirring this up so it's all nicely coated. Yes! This looks so good. Okay, so I'm going to take another custard cup. I'm going to pour this in the jar, or in the custard cup. I'm going to mash it down just a tiny bit so it's flat. Okay, last step is I need to make the streusel topping. So streusel is like a crumbly top, and it's got like sugar. Oh, did I get the old? I did. Okay, so I'm gonna pour my universal pie spice mix. This bowl just had some cinnamon sugar in it. That's it. So it's not dirty. We're gonna put some of the same ingredients in this bowl and make my streusel topping. I need a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I forgot my 1/2 cup. Okay, I have the correct measuring cup. So I need a 1/2 cup. So I'm gonna take my clean hand, and I can do this 2 ways. You're gonna scoop up your brown sugar, and you're gonna get more than what you need, and you can take your clean hand and mash it or gently pack it down into the cup. Or if you don't want to like put your hands on it, which you don't have to, you can take the side of your container and mash the cup to the side of the container to mash the brown sugar in there, and then it's nice and level, and no one had to put their fingers on it. So now I'm gonna put this in my bowl. Oh, you see that? It just comes out and looks like a little sandcastle shape. Okay, so now after my 1/4 cup of brown sugar, I need 4 tablespoons of flour, which equals a 1/4 of a cup. Sweet! I have it in here. So 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, equals 1/4 cup. Because this has cinnamon sugar on it, I don't want to put it in my flour because then everything is going to taste like cinnamon sugar in here, and I don't want that. So I'm going to take more than what I need, shake it. Oh no, I should level it off the proper way. So take my knife, take the flat side of my knife and push away from me. I'm going to allow the extra to fall back into your container, and there's my 1/4 cup of flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I have this cute little adjustable teaspoon where I can find 3/4, and I'm like, perfect. If you don't have one, you can use the 1/4 teaspoon 3 times. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 equals 3/4 of a teaspoon. So I'm going to get more cinnamon, and this time I will not get a heaping. I'm just going to shake it back and forth and it's pretty level. 1, uh-oh, I spilled a little extra in there. 2, it's okay. 3, I did it again. That's all right. Cinnamon's good. Now, let me see, is there anything else I need? Yes, okay, I'm going to stir this up with what shall I use? I'll use my, oh, this thing is called a pastry blender. And I'm going to stir with this, but it has a handle on it and it has little blades. Can you see that? And it helps mash stuff in, and we're going to mash in just a moment. But because I don't have a clean spoon up here because I forgot, I'm gonna use this, so I'm just gonna mash this up and just stir it around. This part, you can use a fork to stir with or a spoon, that's fine. But I thought I would show you guys this is what it is, because in other videos I'm like, I don't have a pastry blender, so I bought one so I could show you guys. Okay, that's good. Now, I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of butter. So on every butter stick has little lines, and each line represents 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to count over 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to cut and take that chunk and put it in here and then mash it with my pastry blender. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. I'm going to cut on that line. Cut a little cricket, but it's okay. Now I'm going to gently put that in the bowl. Now, if you don't have a pastry blender at home, if you don't have one of these, you can always use a clean fork and mash it. It takes a little bit longer. I would show you with the fork, but it has fruit on it, so I don't want to mix the stuff up. But since I had this today, I'm going to use it. So you're just going to mash this in, and it starts cutting the butter up into small little chunks. So I just keep on like mashing and kind of rotate my hand around. So I keep on mashing the butter, and it's going to turn into little small little beads. Okay, I'm done mashing it. I got a little arm workout, and that's okay. You'll notice some of the stuff, the streusel gets stuck to the blades or to your fork if you're not using a pastry blender. So I just use either a knife or this spoon, and I just kind of go in between the blades and get all that delicious goodness out. And you know what I forgot? You could use it just like this, or you could add a healthier benefit and add some oatmeal, dry oatmeal, or uncooked oatmeal. And I loved uncooked oatmeal. It's good fiber, and it adds a nice kind of crunchy element to the streusel. So I'm going to add this. But I forgot how much I should add. Oh, wait, 1/4 of a cup. Now, because I have some cherry stuff in my 1/4 cup, I'm going to use this and scoop out 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice I'm counting out loud because 1, I got an old mama brain, and I will forget what number I'm on. I'm like, did I add, how many am I on? So I always count out loud. So that's just a good habit, especially when you get older. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to stir this up, and it's ready. Can you guys see that? Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so the beauty of this streusel topping is that I don't have to fool around with making a crust, like make it a crust, roll it out, trying to make the edges look cute. This just goes right on top. So I'm going to take my fruit with the cinnamon sugar on it, or the spiced sugar, and I'm going to, sorry, my table's jiggling. I'm just going to gently sprinkle this on top, and I should be measuring, telling you how much to put on here. Okay, so, oh, that looks so pretty. Okay, so let me do it the proper way and use a tablespoon. I'm thinking 2 or 3 tablespoons. Let's see. So 1, 2, yep, 3. Okay, 3 is about right. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to put these in the oven. I'm going to make another apple and another cherry. I'm going to bake it in the oven, and I will put the exact time and temperature for the oven. I have it at 350. So normally I do it at 400, but I'm gonna do it at 350 and see how long it takes, and then that will be on the recipe itself. And then when it's done, I will show you guys what it looks like. Okay, here's the apple crisp and the cherry crisp. They're all done. I put a piece of tin foil underneath just in case it kind of bubbled over, that it wouldn't make a hot mess in the oven and start smoking and burning and causing the fire alarm to go off. But it didn't bubble over. You can see that it is coming out just a little bit on the sides, at least the cherry stuff is, but that's okay. Let's get a different angle. Ooh, isn't that pretty? So there's the cherry and there's the apple. So that is how you make it. It baked for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. and I knew it was done because I poked the apple one with a fork, and it was nice and tender and soft. So I'm gonna allow these to cool at least 10 minutes, and then what you can do is you can eat this just by itself. You can put ice cream on it, caramel on it, whipped cream on it, but again, you can eat it just like this, and it's perfect. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you learned something. Don't forget, stay and look while you cook. Bye.